Hi, everybody. It's Dennis Daly, welcoming you to All Week Theater. Every week I take a classic old-time radio episode, cut it up into 5 pieces, and present it for your convenient listening pleasure. Now Eve Arden and the cast with Part 2 of Our Miss Brooks.
Smitten with Miss Enright, are you, Miss Brooks?
Frankly, Walter, there isn't a lot of affection squandered between us.
Well, she always speaks highly of you. Now, just the other day, Miss Enright said the only reason she can't see a romantic attachment between Mr. Boynton and yourself is because of the difference in your ages.
Miss Enright said that?
Sure. Let's see now. What were her exact words? Oh, I remember. She said that in her opinion, Mr. Boynton was definitely old enough to be your kid brother.
Did she? Well, that makes my next step quite apparent. If you'll excuse me, Walter, I'm going right over to the principal's office.
What for?
I've got to see a man about a cat.
Come in.
Good morning, Mr. Conklin.
Don't come any closer, Miss Brooks.
But, sir, I just...
If you take one more step, I'll call for help. You will be pleased to know, I am sure, that thanks to your valiant efforts, I have become one of the poorest accident insurance risks in this part of the state. I won't draw an easy breath until you're on the train this afternoon. I presume you're packed and ready to go?
Yes, sir, and I'm really looking forward to it. This is the first convention I've attended since I represented Gordon High School 6 years ago. That was a lot of fun.
You're not going to this convention to have fun, Miss Brooks. As Madison's standard bearer, our school will be judged by your actions. Always remember that.
Oh, I will, Mr. Conklin. You can depend on me, sir. I won't get myself thrown into jail this time.
Jail? You mean you were thrown into jail at your last convention?
For the most absurd reason, Mr. Conklin. Can you imagine being locked up for riding around on a motorcycle?
Well, that's hardly a jail offense.
That's exactly what I told the policeman. Besides, he wasn't using it at the time anyway.
You took a policeman's motorcycle?
It was just a lark. There was absolutely no reason for them to put that picture in the paper.
What picture?
A picture of me holding up a burlesque queen in the drunk tank.
Miss Brooks, you can start unpacking at any time. You're not going to the convention.
Not going? But, Mr. Conklin, think of your new glasses.
My glasses will have to live dangerously like the rest of my person.
But if you don't send me, who will you send?
I haven't given it any thought. Have you any suggestions?
I haven't given it any thought either, Miss Enright.
Miss Enright might be just the person. She has poise, bearing. Do you think she'll relish the idea of going?
Believe me, Mr. Conklin, when you tell her about it, she'll be so happy she'll clap her paws in glee. Now, if you'll excuse me, sir, I'll get to my classroom.
Very well, Miss Brooks. Dismissed.
The lot.
Well, good morning, Miss Brooks.
Good morning, Mr. Boynton. Wait till you hear the news. I was just in Mr. Conklin's office. Mr. Boynton, what are you doing up? Go right home and get back into bed at once.
Bed? What for? I'm not sick.
You're not?
Oh, I never felt better in my life.
What a revolting development this is. Walter told me that Harriet said you were sick in bed.
Harriet? Oh, I didn't talk to Harriet. When I phoned the school this morning, I thought I was going to be delayed at the biology supply house, so I left that message with one of the teachers.
What teacher?
Miss Enright.
I should have said which teacher. And she's a witch teacher if I ever saw one.
Now, do you suppose she could have confused the words delayed with laid up?
There's no confusion at all. This is the result of careful calculations. Miss Enright knew that Harriet would tell Walter, also that Walter would, if he saw me, and that's customary, he'd be almost sure to, tell me, and then knowing what she would do, or thinking she knew what I would do, she told Harriet what I later heard from Walter, and then I did what she thought I'd do.
Miss Brooks, are you all right? Why are you speaking in such jerky sentences?
There's a good reason, Mr. Boynton. I have just been completely taken in by a very jerky teacher. down to lunch in the school cafeteria, I told Mr. Boynton that I suspected Miss Enright of deliberately saying he was ill so that I would withdraw and she could go in my place. At first he refused to believe it of her, but finally his sense of justice was so completely outraged that he seemed beside himself with fury, and he violently shouted,
Maybe it was all a misunderstanding. Why should Miss Enright think you'd stay home from the convention even if I were sick in bed?
Because I would, that's why. Somebody would have to take care of you, get you your medicine and fix your meals and see that you were made comfortable.
Miss Brooks, may I remind you that I'm not sick in bed?
Oh, I know that, Mr. Boynton.
And would you mind not taking my pulse? I need this hand to finish my wax beans.
I still say that when people haven't any relatives in a place, it's up to the people who think something of people to do something for the people they think something of. Maybe I should teach Spanish.
So join me next time when I take a classic old-time radio episode and split it up into 5 easy-to-digest pieces, right here on All Week Theater.